Jazz bass master Dave Holland has played with some of the greats, including Thelonious Monk, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Stan Getz, and now another guy, a guy we know.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Now his friend and former Tonight Show band leader Kevin Eubanks is playing with him too. How you doing, Dave?
Doing real good, thanks.
And
Enjoying
it's
our
so
visit.
good to see you, Kevin.
Good to see you too, man.
All right.
Good to be back.
Now, you guys have an album. It's called Prism. I'm holding it in my hot little hands. That was a track from it, The Watcher?
Right.
Okay. And you can see Dave and Kevin and all of their band members. Let's see, who else? Craig Taborn on keys, drummer Eric Harlan, tonight at Jazz Alley.
That's correct. We did our first night last night. So
How did it go last night?
it was great. We had a great time. Thank you.
Jazz Alley is one of my favorite places in the world to see music. It's beautiful acoustics. It's a warm, intimate environment. Every seat is fantastic. For reservations to a 7:30 or 9:30 show, go to jazzalley.com at bobrivers.com. Dave Holland and Kevin Eubanks, welcome to 95.7 KJR.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. Kevin, is he one of your idols?
Absolutely.
I sort of got the sense, Luciana was telling me, like, Kevin is very excited. And this is like, how much are you doing this tour constantly now? Are you everywhere?
Well, the band is just growing, and we're just getting more and more like a sense of a band that, you know, you can feel like it's going to go further and further. We're going to do some more recording, and it kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, when we would throw everything in the guy up the street station wagon. Would be excited, and the most fun we could think about having that weekend is we're going to set everything up in the basement and just jam our asses off and just
Right.
and play.
So
And
it's
I
both-
have that same kind of feeling.
It's
with
both
this.
casual, friendly, and you're playing, I suspect, with a legend that you listened to on Miles Davis records, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And
Yeah.
so when you guys first met, tell me about that.
Wow, what happened when we first met?
We first met in the late 80s. I was running a jazz program in the summer at Banff School of Fine Arts in
right,
Canada. And Kevin very kindly accepted an invitation to come up there and teach. And that was the first time we played together, I think. And as soon as we played, I said, man, we got to do more.
You knew it. You knew it. It was
Yeah,
great.
immediately. So we had a band then, a quartet. We recorded an album called Extensions. And then for about 4 years, we were playing together until 92. And we've stayed good friends ever since. And now is the time to get back together again, I'm glad to say. Kevin's one of my favorite musicians to play with.
Dave Holland, I have to be honest with you. When it comes to the bass, there's something mysterious about that instrument for me because you can tell, like a guitar player, you can see his hands moving, you can tell what the guitar's doing. A lot of times the bass is really felt by people.
Yes.
And some people, until I got to a certain age in music, I couldn't even really pick out a bass line.
Yeah,
And-
you'd miss it if it wasn't there, though.
absolutely. And and here's the thing: as I've gone older and older, I start to really appreciate, especially in rock and pop songs, of course, which we specialize in.
Yeah.
People like Paul McCartney and the incredibly inventive stuff they do.
Yeah.
Now, in the jazz world, to be a great bass player, I imagine a lot of them are great bass players. How do you stand out and play with so many incredible people? So I'm sort of asking you, what makes you so good that they all want to play with you? Is it your
Well-
charming personality to go along with the bass playing? Or
Well, you know, I just love music, first of all, and I love all kinds of music. And one of the things I've always done since I was a young musician was to really immerse myself in whatever situation I'm involved with and try and find out what role that bass can play within that music. And I'm trying to serve the music all the time as a musician and provide the support, but also feed the music with some ideas as well. So it's getting a balance there of those things.
Yeah, you know, you've played with so many people and played on legendary records like Bitches Brew. I heard did you play with Jimi Hendrix when he was in London at one time?
It was not in London. It was in New York. It was when he was. It was in '69, and we jammed. Actually, he called one day and said, "Come on down to Ladyland," and invited myself and John McLaughlin, another great
Mahavishnu Orchestra,
from
you bet.
Exactly, and Buddy Miles, the great drummer,
Wow,
was there.
now that's
And,
a super group.
yeah, and we had some fun that day. It was really great.
How does Kevin compare to Hendrix? So
I don't make comparisons when you get when you get to that level.
You're a
it's
kind
just
man.
all good, you know.
Kevin, will you be lighting your guitar on fire at Jazz Alley?
Again.
Yeah,
Will you play with your
absolutely.
team?
Right in the middle of the show, man. We got the fire
I'll tell ya.
marshals hanging by, man. It's going to be happening.
I think you got the teeth for it. I think you could do it.
You think I could do it?
Yeah.
Come down to
to
Jazz
Jazz Alley.
Alley and watch the guitar on fire, man. Get some lighter fluid on the way out of here.
You mentioned that you guys met when you were leading like teaching, and I'm wondering how young people are embracing jazz music these days. I see like a person like Esperanza Spalding, and I'm very happy that she's out there playing because girls like that her age seem to want to be more of a pop star than a true musical person these days.
Well, there's some great ladies coming into the music. I mean, I can name several that are making great contributions, and Esperanza is one of them. I've been checking her out for a long time, and she's a great musician. I'm really happy to see what's
We were
going
checking
on
her
there.
out too. She was
Yeah.
Yeah, she started
Because she
playing.
could be a
Oh, she
pop
plays
diva.
bass.
I'm talking about the music now.
Yeah, I know you are.
Calm down,
But,
fellas.
yeah,
Calm
you're down for the
down.
others.
The same thing we said about you. Yeah. Kevin was voted the sexiest vegetarian on the planet in 2007.
That's
No,
true.
come on.
Yeah.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, yes.
I'm not lying.
Do you have sexiest vegetarian guitar picks? That, you could put that.
I ate them all, man. Just don't worry about it.
They were made of kale.
Yeah, right. They were kale chips.
May I ask Dave? Everybody who plays an instrument incredibly well or is considered by their peers to be great will always talk about their influences. And I was curious, coming up, who would you single out as great influence for you? And are there some in the pop rock world as well as the jazz world?
Well, I started off as a bass guitarist. When I was about 13, I began playing bass guitar, and I started working professionally when I was 15. And the music I was listening to was all the things coming out of America, Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, of course, Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, all the music that was coming into England. And we all sat around the record player trying to figure out this music. When I was about 15, I got turned on to a great jazz musician, Ray Brown, who used to work with Oscar Peterson, and fantastic bass player, and that changed my life when I heard his playing, and was really one of my major influences. Yeah.
We're going to do something that gets us in big trouble here.
Okay.
And we're going to kick off our incredible rock classic big hits with one of your songs.
All right.
Which is to break the format.
There you go.
We're
Do
gonna-
it, man. Do it.
We're going to tell people we're going jazz for
It's
4
you know,
minutes.
it's a no repeat workday. We can't play it again.
We
all
can't
day
play it
long.
again, so you
Right.
can only play your song once. Which
That's it.
song would you love us to play from this new album?
I
to
think
start?
Choir would be a good one. It's an Eric Holland composition, our drummer, and it's a really uplifting piece. So I
We'll
hope
be
you
right back
enjoy
with
it.
Choir and the great musicians who put it together. Dave Holland and Kevin Eubanks right after these.